I'm not gonna
Will
lie,
actually
Eagz
put
is
him
one
S
of the
tier.
few coaches I think is like actually
This might
good.
be wrong though.
What's up, guys? Why Tarzaned is going to be clamped, bro? He might not be, because, yeah, he's probably got it in him to climb the chow, but at the moment he's clamped. Why am I doing this? Because I've been told a lot about it, and I think it's time to go through some of his games, and I did check his OPGG, and you can see he's kind of plateaued at around 650, 700. I think the stuff I'm going to point out in this video, and it's not like I've actually peaked higher than this, so my peak is around like 500 LP, but I am literally playing at least half a second behind some of the better players in the world, and it's very hard to also for me to exert max energy because I've got so much stuff going on, whether it's coaching or projects on the side, so I literally just don't have time to play the game at the moment, so yeah, not making excuses, but Tarzaned is 100, 150 LP above my peak, and he's playing on 2 ping. And I just know from watching one of these games here, there's a game he goes 1 and 8 in. And if you are like Chow, you're never going 1 and 8 in this elo. So I thought I'd go through it. And what I'm also going to do, just as like an exercise, I guess I could go through this game. I don't think this is Canyon. If it is Canyon, I might go through it. But I want to... Oh, this could be Canyon. I don't know if it is. I'm pretty sure it's stayed here. And yeah. But what I'm also going to do after this is go through games I haven't looked at with you guys. Maybe I'll go through this one. Probably the Grays games are more interesting because he does play Grays. So I'll probably go through them and actually just kind of live coach in a way. So I'm just going to watch the games and say what I would have done or would do. So the first game here is going to be a VOD review of me going through this, saying what I think he should do and or should have done, sorry. And then the next 2 games, maybe I do 2, maybe I do 3, I'm not sure. I will basically be saying before it happens, like what I would do based on X, Y, Z. And I think it would just be a very useful exercise for you guys to watch and learn from. And it's also really good if you guys do it as well. If you can somehow get hold of his VODs, like there's this thing like on YouTube, Tarzaned VOD archive. But you could do this with anyone, Natty Nat as well, just like watch his VODs and try to guess like what they do before they actually do it. But yeah. I don't want to be the same as Tarzaned here. I actually want to suggest moves that are different to him because there's a reason he's, you know, like not in High Challenger like Natty Nat. So if I was to suggest moves that Natty Nat actually does, I'd probably be happy with that. But if I suggest moves here that are the same as what Tarzaned does, I don't know if I would be happy. So in this game, just because this is the game I have already like watched to see what he was doing, I was like, holy. So I'm going to go through what I thought was suboptimal. So first of all, in this game, if I go back a little bit here, I already thought like at this kind of stage at 1 minute, 11 seconds, he already made like kind of a big mistake. So going into this game, nice, we see the scoreboard. Graves against Zac, and I think this is Tarzan's biggest issue. I think he just focuses on jungle 1v1. Wow, that was a really good square. Rectangle. Is square a rectangle? Who knows? I think he just thinks about jungle 1v1 and literally just disregards everyone else. And just thinks that jungle 1v1 is the be-all and end-all, and I think he needs to start thinking about other matchups. He actually has, I think, a good understanding of matchups. He says a lot of the right things when he does actually talk about lanes, like, he knows Yone is good into Aatrox, and he says other stuff about certain lanes in some of these games. So I think he has a good understanding of matchups and all that, but this is where I think he's already made a mistake. I just think he just tunnels on the 1v1, and if he thinks Graves is stronger than, and he will be in a lot of games, right, like early game, than the enemy jungler, he kind of just brute forces it, and he kind of makes a mistake, in my opinion, at least here at level 1, by actually choosing to invade the Zac, and there's a couple of reasons why. This guy is not a champion at level 1 because he doesn't have an ability, right? He literally does not have QWE, okay? He cannot press anything. This is one of the strongest level 1 champions in the game, if not the strongest AD carry at level 1. So invading a person like this is very risky, but we still have to consider everyone else. Smolder, not so bad. Zac, kind of dog. You know what? But might be useful. Like, Zac randomly starts A or Q and gets a knock-up. Like, that could be useful, right? So Zac isn't the worst, but he's pretty bad. Seraphine is actually good as well because she can E2, right, and power E. And that's going to mean more stacks for Ashe, tempo stacks, right, and just more damage generally. It means Yone, Q, etc. And Yone, probably worse than Aatrox, but he's still kind of useful if he can get a couple of Qs in there, right, and stack that with his tempo. So the enemy level 1 is kind of decent here. It's definitely not bad. Whereas, like, this guy isn't really a thing. Electrocute Ignite Zyra is nice because it's almost guaranteed Electrocute, right? So this is almost just, like, half HP for someone at level 1. Galio is pretty good Flash Taunt, but it's kind of slow. I know these guys don't have cleanse, so I guess it's a bit more powerful. Graze is obviously good, and then Aatrox is pretty good as well. But the issue here is that if they face check or run into an Ashe, they're just going to lose the level 1, like 100%, and they can FF the game. If the Ashe has arm, she's just going to dodge everything, flash when she needs to, and tempo her way to 4 kills, 5 kills. So I just don't see how it's conclusive to win this. And the other thing here is, like, even if they did win, in this game, right, it's important to understand, right, like, the higher you go, and when I was playing against even 1,000 LP junglers, and beating them, by the way, even when I was playing against them, you realize that jungle is not just about this 1v1, and the higher you go in elo, everyone is kind of aware, and maybe that's because junglers start pinging, and they're aware of what you want to do, which they are, by the way. That means that jungle kind of communication, right, that jungle awareness from the enemy jungler ripples across his team. So instead of just dealing with a Zac over here, you're now dealing with their whole team. If the Zac is doing grubs and you invade over here, which actually happens, I think, in this game, Tarzaned has to deal with Smolder running over and Seraphine, and he dies for it. So the enemy team is more aware, the enemy players are more aware of jungle the higher you go. So that's why we need to be a bit more precise in this thinking of, oh, Graves beats Zac, let's just run in level 1. Does not work. It's not just a general or 100% just always do it type of thing. It's not a playstyle you can just, premeditate, I guess. You have to look at the rest of the team and think, is it even worth it? Like, what does it lead to here? So if we level 1 invade like they do in this game, right? Like this here. What about if they're stacking here? And we run into Seraphine and Powered E, into Ashe, into Smolder. And I guess they don't really have anyone to tank this. But even if they're not stacking, right? Which doesn't sound too good if they are. But even if they're not stacking, if someone's standing here, if Zac has put a ward down, maybe in that brush, Zac could be thinking, oh, the Graves might decide to E over and steal my red. So you know what? I'm going to ward here at level 1. And if I see this Graves run in and not run back out, you know what? I'm more than happy, and this is the key thing here, trading sides of the map. Because that means if that is Zac's, this side of the map, he is playing towards the lane he probably wants to impact the most. What lane does Tarzaned want to impact the most here? Probably bot lane as well, right? Aatrox and Yone, it's winning for Aatrox. I think it's more skill than people think. But yeah, you don't really want to path top for 2 TPs, right? Especially when you have Ignite bot and Aphelios can carry the game along with Zyra, right? And if one Zyra E lands, it should be GG because they have no cleanse. So if we were to invade top side, right? There is potential for us to split the map towards a weak-siding top lane. I could change this to Ornn. I could change this to Malphite. If this was something like a Riven with Flash and Ignite, let me draw the Ignite. Okay, there it is, the fire. Ooh, I'm literally like sitting in a 10-degree angle. I'm sorry about that. It looks like a flower. Gone wrong. But if this was a Riven with Flash and Ignite, it completely changes it, right? And I would even say that splitting the map towards a Riven with Ignite here is more than fine because Yone as well. Pretty squishy champion, easy to kill. You can just demolish this guy like throughout the entire game, right? If you have Riven top of Ignite, same with a Darius or something like that. So double combat summoner spell, snowbally top laner here would validate a level 1 or late invade at level 1, yeah? Onto this side of the map. But doing it at level 1 here in this game, with that top and this bot, I think is a massive mistake, what he does. And let me play this out for you. If I end up skipping it too much, I apologize. And also skilling E here is the other thing. So he decides to like E over this wall. Again, I just don't know what it does. Imagine if their team's here, Ashe starts hitting him, etc. I don't think it's like too risky. And again, they're invading without knowledge if this is warded or not. So the other thing here should be buying a sweeper, whether it's Zyra or the Graves. And they should communicate that and ping it in the shop. Or if Tarzaned sees that Zyra hasn't got one, just get one yourself. It's really not that bad. But he doesn't here. So the enemy team could know he's doing this, and I actually think they do here, even though the Zac sees them here. So maybe they didn't. Maybe the Zac was standing here because he didn't know, which is fascinating. After this, the Zac ends up running to the Graves' Raptors with his Ashe and Seraphine. So if the blue team set up normally, Graves stands here, AD carry or someone bot, maybe someone walls out here, mid laner stands up here, top laner here, right? Nothing bad is going to happen, and I really don't think a Zac can late invade this Graves, even with like Ashe Seraphine, because I think the Graves could always ask his mid laner to stand here, and then he'll know, and we can, play the game. I just think it's very unlikely for a Zac to late invade here. So we've got no worries, I think, with starting bot in this game, if he wanted to. And then what he can always do by starting bot is doing this, right? So red buff into Zach's bot side. I think that is the much better opening here in this game, rather than kind of doing this that doesn't really lead to anything anyway. Like, so what if you get his red buff or you start his Raptors? You're losing your whole bot side, and is this more consequential? Yes, right? In a bad way, because the Zach is going to isolate your bot lane who you want a strong side. So in this game, it doesn't make any sense because this side of the map that we might be splitting the map towards is not really a big snowballing champion, and this comes at the loss of bot lane, right? Which is what we don't want to lose in this game. So the enemy team here decides to set up in Tarzaned's bot side, and they get a kill on the Zyra here. And maybe she shouldn't face check, but this has nothing to do with it. Lots of people are just going to say, oh, you know, why is my Zyra doing this? Bro, like, this wouldn't happen if we didn't do some, you know, like, just random invade that doesn't even mean anything in the game anyway. So I think what he should have done is just start red buff and then late invade the Zac. Or not late invade, but you know what I mean? Level 2 invade with red buff his bot side. Because if the Zac is starting there, it's great. If he's not, then we just split the map and we split towards the Aphelios Zyra. But unfortunately, the game is in a very bad position here. And just because we've started E, in another game here, by the way, the option that Graves might have, I like how Zyra is ignited as well. The other option that Graves has here is to start Q, and you start at Wolves, and you come back through here and contest red buff. That's the other option here, if he wanted to do that. But because he started E, he basically has to start on blue buff, right? And what he does afterwards is 100% correct. So let me play this for a little bit. Obviously, we're losing bot side here. And by the way, his bot lane, I don't know how this Aphelios does it, but he actually smurfs this early game, even though Tarzaned thinks he's like the worst player in the world because he's got a 40% win rate on Aphelios. To be honest, I don't know how he's not like 0-4 at 10 minutes in this game. Simply because when the enemy jungler is splitting like this, you've got two options as a bot lane. You either hard shove level 1 and get the wave in, so it's going to push back to you, and you'll hit level 2 before it reaches your tower, right? So you either hard push this wave before that can happen, or what you do is you try to like fight and contest it, right? But here they can't, obviously. So what should happen is Aphelios should kind of chill here because Zyra's in Narnia. The Ashe and Seraphine can zone him, and he'll be level 1 by the time Zac finishes Krugs and hits level 3, and then they get dove. Because the Graves just can't really be here, right? Because of the level 1. So that's what should happen. I'm not sure exactly how Aphelios hits level 2, but Tarzaned makes the right play here. He does Raptors and does the enemy Zac's top side. I think here maybe he should like invest a little bit of time like hitting the middle Raptor or maybe the big one, but it's whatever. Doesn't really matter too much, I don't think. And he clears Raptor as well. And this is the thing as well. His mechanics, for the most part, are definitely good enough to get to Challenger, like for sure. Sometimes I think they're a little questionable, like you'll see in this game how he, there's like a 2v2 top lane, I think he plays it pretty bad, and it's important, and I think after that the game is lost. We'll look at it, but yeah, his mechanics are definitely good enough to reach Chow. It's just like the way he might see the game, I think anyway, it's just my opinion, is questionable, and I don't think it's optimal. That's all. Like, it's still good, don't get me wrong, right? I beat Zac 1v1, like, let me look to be aggressive, but it only works up until a certain elo that. Like, if you were playing in Platinum here, it would definitely work, what he probably did at level 1. But the higher you go, again, the more aware people are of what's going on, right? So yeah, you can see Aphelios hits level 2 here, which is huge. So now he has spells and he can defend himself a bit better, which is great for bot lane. If he was level 1 still, they're probably just going to die. Even though Ashe Seraphine isn't that scary, it's not, I don't know, let me try to think of something like Nautilus with a, come on, give me a champion, guys. Caitlyn, right? With traps or something like that, So yeah, but he does the right thing here. He does Raptors, he does the Zac's top side here after doing his own blue buff, and he looks to influence top lane. Unfortunately here, like after Raptors is red, he's still only level 2, but he'll hit 3 after this. It's a bit of a shame because ganking after his 3rd camp would have been ideal, but yeah. Now, I think this was kind of a mistake what he makes. Not actually ganking top. How he ganks top, I also think like how he ganks top is bad here, because I don't know if this Yone is warded, because I'm pretty sure when I was watching this the first time, the Yone has been on vision the entire time. Oh, never mind, he does ward. He does ward here, look. Maybe I shouldn't actually skip it. Okay, so the Yone wards, right? So this is why I think it's even more important for him to wait until Yone Q3s on the wave he ganks on. So because the river is warded here, right? Which he should know. I think he has to wait until the Yone kind of plays that next wave. And he should just sit here. Because the Yone is moving up here, right? Trying to keep prio still. So when he Q3s in to the Aatrox and maybe even uses his E, that's when Tarzaned can go. And I think it's a better gank in that respect. Going now is still okay, but I think he makes a bit of a mistake. I think mechanically he plays this as well as he could have. The W is great. Aatrox for some reason doesn't have spells. I guess he used them on the wave. There's his Q. And after this, it's like we just get the Yone to... What HP do we get him to here? Like, just under 300. And he doesn't even have D-Shield here. So a Yone with D-Blade is very killable, right? Yes, he still has Flash, but this wave is clearly going to crash in the next, like, 15 or so seconds. Yone can't really run upright, even though Aatrox just used Q. But it's very risky because Graves is here. And Tarzaned, for whatever reason, just decides to recall, which doesn't make any sense to me. The only reason you would think about recalling here is covering your bot lane, who might get dove. But there's no evidence of that happening, right? Because the Zac hasn't done it. Like, it's 310 in this game, 311. So if he was going to gank bot lane, it would have already happened. So the Zac is probably clearing his bot side, right? Look where Smolder is standing as well in mid lane. The Smolder is standing towards bot side of the map. So the Zac is just farming his camps here, and he probably will until Scuttlecrab. That's what this tells me anyway. So after doing this gank here, I think Tarzaned should run off like this. But he knows this is watered, right? So this is like the only annoying thing here. He knows this is watered. So if he knew that, which I don't know if he does, maybe he does, but because that's watered, the other option here is like after Aatrox shoves this wave, he can even do it, by the way. Like, he could literally just stand here and hit this wave, and they threaten to dive. And the reason why it has to take place, in my opinion, is because this side of the map is just gone, and we're already behind the Zac in terms of golden experience, right? So at this stage of a game, you should have cleared, like, maybe even all your camps, by the way. Like, you're 5 seconds away from probably full clearing as Graves and as Zac here. You know, he'll be close to it as well. So we're already, like, 2 camps behind here. So the investment here to gank top, why not just finish it off? This is kind of like alley-ooping it to yourself, right? You've alley-ooped it to yourself, now you need to finish the play. Even if Yone knows you're doing this, it's very hard for him to react to it, yes? And yes, he has Flash. Yes, I know that this Aatrox is not Renekton, who guarantees Graves' Q and W and whatever else, but there's still a great chance they kill the Yone because look at him. So when Yone uses his cooldowns on the wave, hopefully Tarzaned can do something to him there. But I think recalling doesn't do anything. And if anything, he should just move to this top crab and maybe even clear his... Like, it's probably something like this, by the way. So we might clear this. And then we might have to do something like Wolves in the Raptors. Why? Because those Raptors will spawn at 4 minutes. Zac would have started there. And we have a great mid laner to fight with because Galio is better than Smolder early game, right? So in terms of a 2v2, I think they do well. And you'll see this become apparent in a few seconds too. So he runs out here. Again, I just don't agree with him basing. It doesn't really do anything. He runs out here to his top side. And this is a level 1 Wolf camp and level 1 Gromp. And just remember that the Zac here started on his Raptors. So the Zac will have a timer here for Tarzaned's Raptors, which will be around 4 minutes. So his Raptors here are 20 seconds away from spawning. Maybe even quicker than that if he got a leash from, like, bot lane on that too. So his Raptors could even be at 355. So what do you guys think he should do after Wolves? Well, this is just me anyway. But after Wolves, I would just run to Raptors and try to defend them. He also has Prio bot here, so Zyra can move up. He also has a better mid laner, right, in terms of fighting. And yeah, Zac should never really be able to do anything to Graves. So if I were him here, I'd go to Raptors and contest them with Longsword. He has Smite as well. Yes, it's a level 4 Zac, but the 1v1's pretty even. And I don't think Zac can ever do anything to Graves. But instead, he just kind of farms Wolves and Gromp and gives up a level 4 Raptor camp. Thankfully, by the way, the Zac trolls here. So I think everything the Zac has done has been pretty good. I don't think he can dive the bot lane, right, when Aphelios is full HP level 2 after these 3 camps. And the Zac afterwards has just done something like this, yeah? And now he's playing for Tarzaned's Raptors again, which is definitely correct. And you can also see where Smolder is standing. What is the Zac doing here? Because of mid lane's position, he is doing something on this side of the map, and it has to be Raptors. But the Zac trolls here. If the Zac was good, he would go like this after Raptors. Because he should know that Tarzaned just ran into his top side, right? Because he ganked the Yone with red buff for like 3 minutes. So Tarzaned is clearly, and he had blue, he's clearly done this. The Zac should know that 100%. He ganked top with 15 CS because he missed a Raptor or a Krug. Doesn't matter. But he ganked top lane after 4 camps, so that's what the Zac should know here. Even after these Raptors, if the Zac has done them right now, he could even think of recalling and running here with like Balmy Cinder and just contesting the weaker Graves, if he wanted to. If Zac is quick enough. If not, he should just do this. Doing Krugs, I think, is just a massive mistake because he's clearly done Raptors red Krugs. See how Krugs are 25 seconds away? So it's not like he's done Raptors Krugs into red. So I think Krugs are a massive overextension here. And it actually gets him in trouble, this Zac in this game, which is a great reaction and punish from Tarzaned. But if the Zac was good here, the game is just already like kind of FF mode, you know? Let's continue. So Tarzaned decides to do Gromp. Does Crab, pushing it towards the next play, which is Zach's Raptors, which is great. And again, we can just tell here that this Zach is doing something pot just based on Smolder's positioning, right? Which is bad. Like, the Zach should never, ever do the Krugs here, especially because he's not really threatening to dive the enemy bot lane. So yeah, and these pings from Tarzaned are really good. He knows the Zach is probably on Krugs, and he makes a great move here that when he sees the Zach there and Zyra's going to damage him, he has a better mid laner in terms of fighting here. This move is move of the game, really, really smart. He runs through mid to cut off this Zach because he knows he's got a great mid laner who can catch him. And also the Zach is getting damaged by Zyra. So this is a really good move, I think. Yes, it seems like kind of far away, but I think it's well worth it here because there's a great chance the Zach will greed for Krugs and spend a good 10 seconds doing them, which is exactly what happens. And I think Tarzaned, as far as mechanics go, literally plays this perfectly. Kills the Zach, E's over. Seraphine has flash, right? So you might think, cue the Seraphine here, but Seraphine, I think, has flash, so there's no point doing this. So he cues the Ashe, which is correct, and he has to get out of this. I don't really think he should go in for one more auto attack there. He might have been able to save flash. But again, in terms of mechanics, right, he plays this close to perfect, if not perfectly. So again, the question is, why are we in this elo? And hopefully I've kind of already answered that with just like his level 1 in this game and how he's thinking about the game. Out of base here, he does something that is again indicative of his mindset of, it's just me against Zach and that's it. And in this game, the Zach, just think about this. The Zach has died here because he thought about Graves and that's it. He didn't consider Zyra. He didn't consider the Galio moving or Aphelios maybe moving. So both junglers are probably in this elo because of this. They just think about 1v1 and that's it, rather than the rest of the map too. When Tarzaned runs out of base here, he doesn't really have too many options, right? You can see him clicking towards top lane because that's when his camps are spawning here, and I think he should. I think he should definitely run towards top lane here. What he ends up doing is doing drag here. Now, the reason why I don't like him doing drag is because he, I don't want to say fails because it sounds like kind of toxic, but he doesn't anticipate the map here, and he doesn't kind of forecast what's going to happen. This Aphelios, right, has a D-Blade and a Cull. Let me try to bring up scoreboard so you guys can see. There we go. Thank you, Tarzaned. He has D-Blade Cull. The Ashe, right, who is based here, yeah, has, or is going to come back to lane with more than this. So the Aphelios, what does he want to do? He wants to shove and recall. So the Aphelios is going to be in base if Tarzaned decides to do Dragon here. There's also a very good chance the enemy bot lane, after clearing this wave, will move over, right? Especially the Seraphine, because why wouldn't you? There also might be a chance that this is warded because there was just a fight around here. So maybe someone put a ward down and he didn't see it during the fight. Something like that is possible. So in terms of going to drag here, we saw the Zach on Raptors, right? If I keep playing this, just watch. So we know Aphelios is in base, remember? The Zach now moves towards Krugs, yeah? Now the Zach, after Krugs, because I think he's also come out of base here, right? Is going to think about doing what after Krugs? This. And in this game, Tarzaned is, I think he should regen a bit more HP because he's not farming any camps to heal back up here, so he should definitely like heal back to like this or something. I think they actually can do well in 2v2, especially if Tarzaned sits in that brush here. So if he looks at that brush and Yone hasn't warded it, hopefully Aatrox would have pinged that. But if Yone hasn't warded this brush, we can just sit in it and wait for Yone to overextend. Wait for the Zach to go in. Now he has to be careful, Graves, because he doesn't have this. And if he uses this poorly, Yone is going to hit level 6 soon. And if Yone ult hits the Graves with a Zach there, he's going to die. But that's the only play he has, to be honest. I don't think he has any other play. I think doing this is just way too risky and presumptuous because Aphelios is in base, and there's a good chance the Seraphine will move over after shoving a wave or two and check this. Even out of base, she might run like this, yeah? If she's not going to hold up bot wave. There's so many things here that make it hard to do Dragon. So I think Tarzaned should have just ran top, sat behind Aatrox. If something happens, great. If not, whatever. And then he can just play for his Wolf Camp again, and then his Gromp. Instead, he comes... And again, I just think it's, you know, oh, I see the Zach top. Let me just do Dragon no matter what. Rather than actually being able to see Aphelios is in base. What's Seraphine going to do after shoving that wave? Probably move over here, right? Especially when Zyra is doing some weird shit. So the Zyra could be playing here. Ashe Hawkshot, I don't even think matters, by the way. A good support here is going to sniff this out and stop you from doing this. And they have to give up drag. They end up losing a fight as well. He dies to Smolder. So Galio dies. He dies to Smolder. And the game at about this point is as good as over. And he starts spamming his bot lane. Again, Aphelios was in base here. He knew this running out of base. So he just spam pings him. I don't want to talk about this shit. So I'm just going to skip this. And from this point, I think he makes also another bad decision here. He knows that Zach has taken his Raptors in this game, right? So if he was going to run to his Raptors here, I think it's the best move because the Zach has the timer for it, right? The Zach took his Raptors again in this game. So his Raptor camp there is probably real. I don't know if he actually ran past it and got vision. But the point is like when Zach does his Raptor camp at what? He might kill them at like 410 around this. They're going to respawn at like 625, yeah? So his Raptors here are going to spawn at like 620, 630. So they should be up right now. So what he should do here is just run straight there to see if the Zach is going to kind of greed for them after the Dragon. And he can also ping the Zyra, by the way. So what he should be doing, instead of maybe pinging his teammates, again, I don't want to talk about that too much, is on the way pinging, ask for assistance. He also has Galio ult, so he can be super aggressive, right? And maybe they win a fight. I think it's a fight that they do well in. Instead, he decides to do Krugs in red. And we see the Zach show here. So the Zach was actually taking his Raptors. Again, it's just a mistake because he's not jungle tracking like the camps. And maybe it's because he's got like Blitz GG installed or had it installed because I was coaching people who said, oh yeah, but Tarzaned uses Blitz GG. And I said, well, yeah, this is why it's bad. You turn into a vegetable. Anyway, he does red buff here, and he has to path towards top because he's level 5. He needs to hit 6 here. Everyone on the map is going to be 6, so he needs to hit that before really making any sort of play here. We also know in this game, right, that the enemy jungler, the Zach, is probably going to rotate back to his top side because why? The grubs are spawning. So there's a good chance this Zach is going to play for grubs here, but I think the Graves will do well at grubs. Why? Because he has Galio ult that's better than Smolder, and the Aatrox, even though he's in kind of like a counter matchup where Yone should do better, he seems to have prio. Like this Aatrox, I kind of trust him here. Anyone who's in a losing, so to speak, matchup like this and they have prio, they clearly know how to play their champion and navigate the matchup, so I would just be happy here to have this Aatrox. Unfortunately, he doesn't hit 6 here. He's so close because if he was 6, he could just run top on this wave. See how there's a wave adjacent to him here in top lane? He could just run top and try to force a fight here and then move to grubs, but because he's not 6, he definitely has to do Gromp here. The other thing here is like he's pinging Aphelios, who is in a really hard matchup, by the way. Like Aphelios into Ashe sounds kind of FF, and then into Seraphine as well. You should never really be able to auto-attack them, and the only time you can really fight, or stand your ground, I guess, hold your own, is when you have a green Calibrum sniper gun. So it's a very difficult lane for him, and he kind of should lose it. And yeah, I think here he should just be pinging that, hey, the only lane that can really get kind of screwed over here, right, is top lane. I think the Zach diving is mid laner, even though Galio is half HP, right? With a Smolder, probably doesn't work and Graves can be near there. But his top lane is the one with the real strength there, and he should protect him just by pinging. Because ideally, the Zach goes in when Graves is nearby. So in my head here, I'm just looking at this map, anticipating Flubber to appear, the green blob, hitting the Aatrox, and Tarzaned is 10 seconds away, which is exactly what happens here. So as he moves top lane here, there's no pings for Zach, it's just all on Aphelios, who should lose that lane with how the level 1 went, which is Tarzaned's fault. Again, I'm not flaming, I'm just putting things into perspective. And here he makes a big mistake of just ulting. Even if this Aatrox Q3 lands, I just think it's just a bad habit to ult like this, because you can always ult afterwards anyway. And the thing with ulting here is what? What does your ult also do? So it doesn't really do much damage when you're hitting it from max range like this, but also it's pushing you away. Look what the Graves does now. So now he's got to run that distance again. So it like kind of wastes a couple of seconds here, which is paramount here. Look at this fight. This Aatrox is 1v2ing, and after this, Tarzaned like pings him and says top laner dog shit or something. His top laner is carrying the game for him here, and he ulted like that. So if I was Aatrox here, if anyone deserves to ping anyone, it should be Aatrox pinging the Graves, right? So the ult was really bad, and that means that, what is his name? Like, Yone can get in damage, the Zach can free damage, right? Because Graves W would be really useful here, even the damage itself, right? So imagine if he had R here, he'd probably just kill the Yone, right? Yone might be a little bit healthier, but yeah, you get my point. But instead, because he decided to ping Aphelios and not his top lane that might have helped, they lose this fight and the game is basically over at this point. And yeah, press tab, ping the top laner who basically 1v9'd this game. And maybe he would have done more if Tarzaned finished off the dive at level 3. But yeah, this game I think is a good representation, or just a good illustration, I should say. A great example as to why, like, maybe he isn't getting the most out of these games and hitting super high elo. So this game here I'm going to download, and I am going to go through this. So this is one of the games. I'll go through a couple of others as well. So I'm going to watch this just because it's a Graves game, and I think, you know, it'll be useful just in case I have to talk about micro. But yeah, most of this is just how he thinks, right, in macro. So going into this game, if I could, like, screenshot it, I would. But what would you guys be thinking here? It might even be easier now, because we can see that he is red team. So let's press F2 and play this game as if we were really playing it, or even live coaching him. So in this game, right, I think... Let's have a think. So, because he has... So jungle matchup, right? Graves is going to beat J4. In terms of 1v1, you still have to be a little bit careful. It's not just like you hard win and you can just run into him. But your E just completely counters what J4 wants to do, which is EQing, right? That's why Graves is so annoying. And your armor as well is useful against an attack damage jungler. So that's number one. Like, we have a tick in terms of jungle here. I'll do it here. Top lane, early game, probably is going to be a bit of a tick, but it's probably more skill matchup than anything. And mid lane, I would much rather have the Zoe. Why? Because she has Ignite. And Zoe early game is just such an impressive champion. Honestly, like just one of the best, if not the best early game mid laner to have, especially if you want to be aggressive, which Graves should look to do here. Because against J4, he has a tick. But you see how we've got to think about the rest of the map here. It's not just like I beat J4, so I run in and late invade level 1. It's like, no, how can I actually get the most out of this matchup considering everyone else? So we think that mid is going to be winning with Prio and Ignite. Bot lane is not going to have Prio, or likely not going to have Prio, right? Yasuo is a melee champion against Twitch. So Yasuo and Rakan are probably going to be here by the time we path bot, if we decide to do that. So not having Prio bot, a little bit annoying, but all we have to do is show a bit of patience if we want to fight around them for them to hit the same level as these guys. So Yasuo hitting 2 and 3. I'd much rather have Yasuo in a skirmish rather than these two, and Rakan with Ignite. So everything on Tarzaned's team here, and he loses this game, even though he goes 10 and 7, everything on this team, it can't really get much better, in my opinion anyway. So looking at this is what I would do. I would say, you know what? If I late invade level 1, it's the same argument that Zach might have, right? Like the last game. If we do this at level 1, and the J4 is aware of us doing this, what's he going to do if he's starting down here and that's warded? He's going to split the map. What I think Tarzaned should do, and you guys are going to think I'm crazy here, I think he should start red and invade afterwards. Why? Because there's a good chance in this game J4 starts topside. He has a TP top laner, and even though Twitch is pretty weak, Thresh as well with Twitch just sounds kind of interesting. It's not like it's Pyke Kalista or Draven Alistair, right? It looks like quite an interesting bot lane combo. But anyway, he probably will path bot just because Yone has TP. It's how lots of people think. So if the J4 starts blue buff, this is very deadly indeed, and you could just win the game at level 2. Now, I know that you're thinking, Eagz, you just said that invading this side of the map is questionable, right? Kind of like against the Zac, because in this game we have TP against TP. What did we have in the previous game? We had TP against TP. But for me, the potential there of ending J4's game is pretty high, or the likelihood is actually like quite high. And if J4 does end up warding this, I would be like, kind of no worries. Like, you played it well. I think it's just both junglers playing at peak there. So when Tarzaned runs in, if J4's blue buff is up, he can just start it, do Gromp, and then maybe he even comes back out, right? But this is where it gets, again, a little bit tricky. To try to contest this crab. Simply because, and again, he can get his Zoe to move over. He can get his Rakan and Yasuo to move over because he's got a great fighting bot lane. So if J4 was to do this with vision up here of Tarzaned doing that, I still think Tarzaned should look to get to that bot crab to fight wherever this guy is, because I think they always win 3v3, 4v4s on this map. So you want to match this guy wherever he goes, right, in this early game. So that's what I would do. I would start red, invade the J4's blue buff, and go from there. If J4's here, obviously you just like kind of end his career. You'll have... Oh, I guess like Graves has to smite red buff, but yeah. You get my point, right? Like the J4's going to be pressured. He might have to flash if he's unaware, etc., etc. It should be great for Graves. So that's what I would do. So let's see what Tarzaned does. What does he actually do here? Yeah, so doing this, I don't really have like too much of an issue with this. It's just like if you do stuff in this area. Because if you do stuff up here, the J4 is going to get a little bit shook. Oh my goodness, like Graves is, you know, after shunking my mid laner, they're all going to run in and now he might ward. So to try to like disguise my plan here, I don't even know if I would do that. I'd probably just stand around here and kind of act as if I'm not going to do anything. Like I'm so AFK, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not going to do anything to you, J4. You can chill. So he won't even ward up here. But when you're active like this at level 1, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's what the enemy jungler can think about, is now just warding this. or his blue buff. So yeah, it's just like something to keep in mind when you do invade. And yeah, Tarzaned putting a trinket down is really good. Swapping the sweeper is great because he probably wants to invade, and let's see if he does it. If he doesn't do it, like, it's not the end of the world. So if he does just end up going like this, I still don't think it's bad. I just think optimal decision is probably something like that. And yeah, as Graves, you could always do this as well, right? Rather than that, so you evade that brush's vision. So there's ways you can kind of screw with the J4 early game here, but let's see what he does. So yeah, he's just going to start red. What does he do after red buff? I'm not sure. There's also a ward here, okay. Again, I'm just playing this because I have no idea what he's going to do, so. Top lane pushing to Yone, so it's pretty much impossible to gank this lane. And yeah, if you were playing as Graves here, let me just set up so I really get into this. What I would be thinking as Graves is that you have 3 lanes that are kind of, well, every lane is volatile here, right? So what you really don't want to do is lose mid here, especially when it has Ignite. So if I were the Graves, I'd be thinking, wow, if I'm J4 and I gank this person, even though she has flash, right, it would be really bad and she dies. So I'd be really active in thinking about J4 here, maybe doing this or something like this after his top side. So that's what I would be doing and just like pinging here for her. And yeah, as he moves towards bot here, so he can't do anything top right. And yeah, if I were him, like, I'd just be asking for maybe a ward here. Maybe not just yet, because I think the J4 will be late. But if J4 starts up here, there's nothing really stopping him from doing that. So again, a good jungler here is going to realize, oh, Jace hasn't warded. Like, he's been in lane the entire time. So because of that, I'm just going to quickly get a kill, base, and run out of here. If the J4 started up here, yeah. So I think Tarzaned, what he should do here is ping here, this position. And yeah, just be aware that, look, mid lane is really volatile here. And the enemy jungler is probably going to be thinking about this. I think in terms of ganking mid, like after Raptors level 3 is just bad because this person has flash or did have flash. So when Tarzaned was doing Raptors, Aurora had flash. So if you were thinking of doing this, I think it's terrible because Aurora is going to flash. J4 as well can be waiting for you if he cleared his whole bot side. So I think it's just a really bad gank because enemy jungle can be here. And to kill an Aurora with flash, it's impossible, right? Unless the Zoe lands a bubble through 6 minions. So it's just not going to happen. So I think Tarzaned doing walls is good. The Zoe pinging here, I mean, the Aurora did just flash. So I think here, like, Tarzaned could go mid, for sure. So I think this would even be a thing here. Like, as soon as Aurora flashes like this, right, you're clicking towards here, and Aurora flashes like that, and he hasn't skilled, which is really good. So this is very good. But here, you would put a point in W, and you just go around like this. The wave as well is in a really nice position. So yes, Aurora is a pretty annoying champion to gank. But being on this HP, all Graves has to do really is just flash auto attack with red buff and she's dead. And at that point as well, the time's going to be like 240, right? And J4 is probably going to be asleep on his 4th camp. I don't know what the J4 is doing in this game. I think he might be doing his Krugs. But yeah, like down here. Unfortunately, again, the replay system will still show you what camps the enemy jungler has done. So I wish it didn't here so we could really guess. But yeah. So he's done red Raptors or Raptors red or something, so yeah. But I think he should go mid here, skill is W, and again, it's just because you're tracking this. So we'll see if he does it. Oh, I'm pretty sure we saw him hit wall, so I think this is a mistake, and how he clears his camps is, like, maybe as good as you can get, right? I think he, like, kind of misclicked there. Oh, shit, yeah, okay, I was gonna say, never mind. I take that back. And yeah, this is what I mean. I'm not saying, like, pings are gonna be the big difference, because Canyon pings less than Master players in his 2000 LP career with a 70% win rate every season. But, like, just one ping, because the Jace hasn't warded. Like, hey, bro, you might want to be a little bit careful there, because, yeah, J4 can gank you. His bot lane, he doesn't really need a ping, right? Because they're under tower, and he's still nearby. So if J4 showed up, he can just react to it. But he can't react to this gank, and he kind of couldn't react to this gank here. If J4 was to flash EQ on Zoe, now I've got a mid laner without flash, right? And Graves probably can't do much to J4. So those are the things I would be doing here, and ganking mid for sure. After walls, if he did these properly, same kind of argument. You could lean towards mid, but because this Aurora is probably going to base, right? You could still lean here. Like if you just cleared walls, you could still do this because there's potential, right, for Aurora to stay here and pressure this person. Remember, no TP. So the Zoe here, the Aurora kind of doesn't really have to recall until this person does, yeah? So you could even say, if you're Aurora, stay. Put pressure on this person. And if the Graves rocks up like this, you can stand up here, J4 can cover you type thing. So again, I would just hover around mid lane here after walls to make sure that Aurora is not giving me a free kill. And yeah, just because I was looking at Tarzaned's clear, let's play this out properly. So as we were doing this, let's just say I do this properly here. We look top lane, and this J4 has got red buff, so I'm guessing he's gone red Krugs Raptors, right? Red Krugs Raptors, and then he's ganked top lane. That's what I would be anticipating if I were in this game jungling against him. So now I know I can never really invade his bot side, yeah? It's also really weird for me to see the J4 recall. Because surely if you're J4 here, you just... Surely if you're J4, you just run to your blue, no? I mean, he is pinging on the way. I don't know why I keep thinking he's recalling. Yeah, he is recalling. See, I saw this. Yeah, fascinating. I don't agree with this at all. I think this is bad. He should definitely just run to his blue buff and do it. There's no reason to base here. He's like pinging on the way to Krugs, but how is a Graves going to know your Krugs are up? Like if I see a J4 topside, right, with 12 CS and red buff, it's this quadrant straight here, yeah? So as a Graves, you're never going to invade here. The other thing to think about here if you're Graves, obviously as soon as you see J4 all the way back here, is to think about, oh, there's J4. Can I do something to bot lane here, right? It is the first thing you should think about impacting this lane, yeah? And when Rakan hits level 2, there is potential for them to do something. So after Tarzan actually does these walls, and I mean, this is why it's important to clear your camps properly, so he should really be hitting Gromp by now. He could actually be thinking about just ganking this lane off Rakan's level 2 and killing the Twitch, right? But because he's 7 seconds too slow here, at least that maybe, it's almost like too slow now, and it gives the enemy champions like time to react to this. And you see like when J4 pings here, Tarzan could actually be doing this right now. And hopefully Rakan goes in as he shows up, or as he turns this corner, Rakan lands his W on the Twitch, and it's showtime, right? It's still difficult against Thresh, don't get me wrong, and I'm not sure why Yasuo is half HP. But those are the plays he should be thinking about because he stuffed his clear up. Yeah, it's almost impossible here, right? And hitting Gromp, I think, is definitely correct when he sees Twitch run off, which I think happened before he even hit Gromp. So again, just to like show this, stuffs the clear up. And I guess Twitch is staying in lane, so he could like kind of hit this and move. Gives himself 2 options, right? If Twitch stays and B's an idiot, he can run down and kill him. Again, I think if this was lower elo, that would happen. But because the Twitch is getting pinged here and actually might have a brain, he's going to back off, right? So hitting Gromp kind of kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So you can always just come back and hit it if Twitch makes the right play, which he does. Yeah, and it's fascinating to see him recall here. So if I was Tarzan, I'd be like, why is this guy recalling? Isn't he just running out to his top side here? So for me, I would just anticipate this J4 to run here. I don't know why he's basing. It's really weird. The other thing is like J4 recalling, it kind of only makes sense for him to run here. So like J4 basing is almost like Tarzan in the previous game. You're doing it because you're scared of bot lane getting ganked or something like that. But your bot lane here can just chill. Like the wave is going to push into you. So the Twitch and Thresh can just chill on full HP down here. And you can say, you know what, Graves, have that crab. I'm just going to do all these. And I'm in a great position just to carry the game, right? So I don't know why he's basing that guy. But yeah, I guess like that could be a reason anyway. Like why he's not super high elo. And yeah, Tarzan ends up doing these. And because his clear was a little interesting, I guess he has to smite that. I don't know if he has to, though. I guess he has to wait to be at crab at 330. No, there's no way. I don't know why he smites this. He should definitely hold it. Because there is a, chance, like when J4 recalls there, that he's going to run out into this side of the map. So yeah, I don't really like him smiting. Him holding that is smart, just in case there's a fight for his grit stack. And he uses E here to keep his grit stack, so it's kind of like Graves tech, And same thing here, right? Like, why is the J4 going to recall? So I don't know if he was pinging here. Oh, he was pinging here. Where was he pinging? Let me have a look. Yeah, so I think like when J4 recalls, I'd probably be pinging both top and bot because your mid lane is not here, right? So because Zoe's back here, thankfully you don't have to worry about this area. So, oh, top lane's pushing again. So, same thing. If J4 recall just to run straight top, you ping here, and I'd also ping this area here. So let's see what he actually did ping. Yeah, good. I think these pings are really, really good. And same thing with bot lane, though. You just have to think, okay, so Jace warded, thank you, Jace. J4's not top. Oh, so if J4's not top, where's he going to be now? Maybe he is going bot. So that's what I would be, like, anticipating. Ganking mid, I think, is just... I just think it's too difficult. It's not like you have a LeBlanc or Silas. Yes, Aurora doesn't have flash, but the J4 can be active here. If J4 is doing this crab, or... I don't really know what else he could be doing if he was covering bot and now he's running up here like this towards that top crab. In some capacity. I think it's too difficult to gank mid, so if I were Tarzan here, I'd actually be looking bot. When you look at Thresh as well. So if I were him, I'd be looking around here. Now, if you think the Twitch is warded, it makes it more difficult, right? But there's nothing wrong with just running through here, and I think he even has like sweeper right, and then just basing afterwards. It's really hard to track the J4, which is why this is quite an interesting early game. But I think him clicking mid is a massive waste of time. Just looking at this, it's just such a waste of time, you know, like that's just what I believe. So if I were him here, you either go straight bot, because there's a big threat of J4 doing this, so you cover that immediately. If you go like this, it's too slow. The way it's not going to be too slow is if you kind of like tell your bot lane here, hey, just be careful of J4. And if they back off for a little bit and give you time to rotate around, I think that's the best move here. But I don't think he communicated at all. So that would be optimal. But imagine if J4 showed up bot here, right? It would feel bad. So I think ganking mid here is kind of interesting. If they get a kill, it's great. But against an Aurora with the wave pushing, it's just such a waste of time. And he could have used that time on this bot lane where the Thresh is less than half HP. And J4 could have been here. I don't think J4 ever ganks mid, or you're ever worried, I should say. Are we worried about J4 ganking Zoe? Not really, because I'm right here. So if J4 shows up somehow mid, I'm here to counter. Like, don't worry, bro, I got you. And there's a ward here, right? See how this J4 kind of gives you a bit of peace of mind about the enemy jungler ganking mid? There's nothing bot. J4 could easily do this. We saw him recalling. Why is he recalling? Even though we think he's done his whole bot side, right, from his initial clear, he could be doing something crazy, which is what that recall is. He might be thinking about covering his bot lane. So that's what I would just be like thinking here. If I were Tarzaned, I'd never go mid. I'd look to just run straight bot. Even if I'm running over wards, I don't care because the immediate threat of J4 I think is legit. And that's what I would do. Or you ask Rakan or something to ward. So if this Rakan or Yasuo has a ward, you ask for a ward here. Oh, that's nice. Now I can do this after the crab and get in a position to ambush this bot lane. So if I press F1... the Twitch and Thresh, there's a good chance the Twitch warded here, right? When he ran off that wave when we were doing Gromp. So there's a good chance the Twitch has warded this brush. So, in terms of vision here, if you go like that, a lot better, a lot higher percentage of making that potentially work, right? Anyway, let's continue with this. So yeah, big waste of time doing that. And now, when the bot lane, I mean, unfortunately here, the Twitch dies, but I think he can kill this Thresh. He just needs to think about flashes here. And the wave is also in like a really annoying position. So maybe even this Rakan should go in and like die for the Graves, which I think is what should happen. So if Rakan goes in, okay. I mean, yeah, I just think the Rakan should go in and die here. Like, he should definitely be pinging him because there's also potential here for Twitch to, like, come back out soon, right? So this play, I mean, Twitch is dead, but yeah, you get my point. This play just has to happen quickly because of the wave, right? So this Rakan should have just sacked himself for Graves to get a kill and hopefully to snowball. Like, when the Rakan does this, I'd be pinging, like, on the way. Even if I'm Tarzaned here, I'd probably just, like, go in and flash the Thresh thing. It's still really awkward, though, isn't it? Like, because this guy has flash, it makes Graves really hard to play because of the tower. So Thresh, like, flashes backwards. Like, you can just FF, right? But if Tarzaned runs in and just flash autos him, I think he always kills him. Even with, like, W, even with Q, even if Thresh, like, flashes kind of well, he can W to finish him off. I almost think they have to go for this. And, yeah, Rakan, like, running away like this, I think is really bad. But still, I think Tarzaned can actually just commit to it here during the tower shots. And, yeah, go nuts. So, yeah. Like, he's literally a flash auto from dying, so... And yeah, I think this is really bad. Him doing this is awful because in another game, even if Jace lives, it's not the point. He can lose Krugs. He might lose his Raptors. So him doing this and taking the wave, especially when it's in a position where this will actually push back to his bot lane here. Like, this wave is going to push back to his bot lane. So him doing this, I don't know if he's tilted. I don't think he is tilted because he's not spam pinging anyone like the chat would tell me. So yeah, he should just recall here and play for this. The other option, as soon as he sees J4, so I think this is maybe what he should do here. As soon as he sees J4, if he was running off like this to recall where Rakan is in the brush, is to react like that now. Because it's very difficult here. This is just something... It's very difficult for J4 after showing, right? Oh, I've just shown here, ganking the Jace. It's now very difficult for me to continue this, right? So unless the J4 has explicit vision of Graves doing this here, it's impossible for him to go like that because Graves could be doing this, yeah? So from J4's point of view, if the Graves recalled in this position, right? Can we invade this after killing Jace? No. The only way you invade this is because you have vision of Graves doing that camp, right? So if I were playing as Graves here, I would never shove that bot wave. But yeah, I would probably do what Tarzaned's doing here. And when, like, the J4 does this, I actually just think it's a massive overextension and really bad. And very, very flip indeed. Because of the threat of Graves basing right and running there. So yeah, Again, I'm not expecting to see like the perfect moves, which is why it's not Challenger, but I think that's definitely a mistake from the J4 and quite greedy. You can also see someone pinging Raptors here, right? So everyone becomes aware. Whether this is J4 or not, it's not really the point. Like, everyone kind of becomes aware of this. And yeah, pretty annoying death there, but thankfully the J4 is not running here. Tarzaned has to be a little bit careful of Thresh, and you can see him looking to do these, so he eases over the wall towards mid lane, and yeah. Also like him staying, because there's a threat J4 goes from Krugs to Raptors, right? So if Graves was to recall here, it takes him 30 seconds to get to Raptors. What can happen in those 30 seconds? J4 takes his Raptors and says, GG, jungle diff in chat. And Tarzaned's going to get flamed, right? Because he's going to be level 4 the entire game. So him running from Raptors to Raptors here, definitely the correct move. Oh my goodness, I thought he missed that. Let's go. And yeah, this is where he has to be a little bit careful. I'm surprised. Does he have W here or what? Oh, he used W on Raptors. Yeah, okay, fascinating. I think using W on Raptors there is pointless. Even if it's to leash them and do them quicker, it doesn't really like make any sense to, because of potentially like Aurora warding them and stuff like that. So yeah, I think this is like just really bad. Now he has to blow his flash for no reason. Did he actually die here? Oh, it's so close. Okay, so there's a couple of points here, right? I think him doing this is definitely correct, because he's never going to catch J4 and Krugs. So because he's losing Krugs, he's not going to gain anything by basing, right? So if he's like losing Krugs and he runs like that, he's down to Krugs anyway. So if he was to recall, he'd have to go like this, but it's a lot quicker to go there, right? Even if you are still jungle item Graves doing a level 4 Raptor camp, you still do them a lot quicker than basing and running here, yeah? So he has to stay on the map and do this here. I just wouldn't have shoved bot lane, and this is probably already done. So everything he does here is good, apart from W in the camp. I don't really know why he does this. Using E is... it's probably fine, because he gets it back up with blue buff as well, right? So it's probably okay to do that. But using W here, I just don't really like. And, yeah. Kind of makes a little bit of a difference. And doing this here... hitting the wave, like, it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter here. Like, this wave as well is going to freeze. Even if he tries to crash it, like, Aurora can probably hold this up. And J4, if he is threatening to do this, is all of a sudden a threat again. So I just don't like what he does here, just running into the Aurora and losing HP like this. I think it's a little bit, not arrogant. Well, I guess that is the word, but no, I hate saying stuff like that, because people are probably going to think I'm being toxic towards him. It just looks like a pretty arrogant move, though. Like, why just lose, you know, potentially... half of your HP here for nothing. Like, who cares about those two minions? Like, this is what we need to play. Save your HP for it. You've got Rakan here as well. Let's go, and you should win a fight. But now it makes it interesting, right? And I guess, like, playing against Twitch is a very unique experience. So the Twitch being here is, yeah. And him Wing this as well, this is just very questionable, because he should know that J4 could, not that he should, that J4 could do something stupid like this, right? Actually, I just think it's a bad move from J4 doing this. So, yeah. Actually died as well. Yeah, now he can FF. Loses Raptors, right? J4 recalls and wins the game. Somehow, though, this game is still close. So it's interesting from J4's... J4's? Keep saying J4, bro. J4's point of view here. He didn't actually do his Raptors. Oh, he is, sorry. It's interesting from J4 here that he doesn't actually, like, carry this game. So I'm fascinated to see, like, what really happens here. Tarzaned running out. Can he really do anything to J4 here? Probably not, right? With all this activity here. So this probably means, you know, Thresh being here. There's a ward here. And maybe even in this brush, right? Like, it just makes it very annoying to play as jungle here. So, yeah. So I think if I were Tarzaned here, I'd happily hit walls. Bot lane is in a great position. So this is definitely something he could think about playing for. And there's even, like, you know, maybe thoughts of doing something like this and running all the way around. Because Twitch doesn't have flash. He would have used it mid, I think. Or maybe even in the bot fight when he died earlier. So bot lane is in a great position here. So running out of base, this is like the first thing I would probably see if I were actually playing. So first thing, I was just like talking about Thresh warding, is looking at bot lane here and anticipating what's going on. So doing walls is fine. Twitch is probably still like 10-20 seconds away from showing on the wave. So I think walls into Gromp, this crab is really what you're playing for as well. Because they still do well in 4v4s. Like, even though the Twitch is kind of ahead and the Aurora is doing better than Zoe, in terms of a 4v4, they still do well just because early game they still possess strength, right, these champions. So if I were the Graves, I'd be looking to fight this. So Wolves, Gromp, and playing that crab. Unfortunately, I don't have the timers, but yeah, I'd just be looking to play that, right? Other thing to consider here in this game is that his Krugs are probably going to be like around 7 minutes or something, maybe a little bit later actually, because J4 did them, right? But he did them a bit later after they respawned, so yeah. That's the other camp to like consider here in terms of timing. And yeah, when we look bot lane, right, the wave is still in a great position. Now we're looking to dive. I don't really know if I like this too much. I guess the Zoe is kind of forcing it here. So if you're like your teammate does it, does something like this, you can't really control that, right? But yeah, Tarzaned doing the camp in a great position, right? Puts himself towards bot lane as soon as possible. I don't know why he's running towards drag here. Obviously, he should be running over here. And yeah, Thresh flashes. So if Tarzaned killed the Thresh before, Thresh would have died there as well, right? Because he would have used his flash to try to survive Tarzaned. So yeah, and him doing drag here, I think is good, just because the Thresh has to recall, right? There is still a little bit of a threat of Aurora being level 6 and Twitch maybe sneaking in, but with his teammates being full HP, I think this just is better than what the J4 is going to have. Again, using W there, I'm not too sure about. And this is like one more thing here, right? This is exactly the same as the Yone in the previous game. It's like you get the Thresh 1 HP here. And I think, I don't want to say like this is very NA, but you get the Thresh like 1 HP. And I was just talking about Dragon here because obviously Tarzan's running back. But you get the Thresh 1 HP, but it's not even about this guy, right? It's about this guy now. The Twitch is on his own. So if Twitch shows on this minion wave after Yasuo shoves, he's just getting like 4v1, right? And he's dead. Even 3v1 is good because he has nothing here. So the Twitch is going to die on this wave here. So it's not even about the Thresh here. This Grave should just run down. And if J4 is in this brush, you just say, well played. Like, it's just both junglers again playing well. So Tarzan should just run through, try to avoid the vision here, do something like, oh shit, do something like this, E over, sit in the brush, wait for Twitch. If Twitch doesn't show, he's losing a cannon wave, right? And Yasuo can get a tower plate as well. So it's like, you know, 250, 300 gold to Yasuo. It's a really nice swing this. And it means that this Thresh flashing actually means something. Thankfully, his teammates actually do the right play here and dive this person. But this is where he should be as well, yeah? He should 100% be here, and Thresh having heal and Lantern might be a little bit annoying. But Rakan doing this on his own, like this is where the Graves could be, getting a kill maybe. And instead he's hitting drag near a level 6 Aurora who might run down, right? The other thing to consider here is his top lane, like getting ganked. So if I were him, I'd be pinging around here. And when his teammates are doing this, which is where he should be, and in this game, obviously, he'd be getting the J4's Krugs on top of that and denying Twitch all of this. This is actually just like a pretty bad decision, just to go back to Dragon for those reasons, right? The potential you get of golden experience down here, this is a bigger injection. I've used that word from my last YouTube video, and I'm going to continue to use it. This is a bigger injection of golden experience than this thing. So why are we not playing for the bigger injection of golden experience? And lots of people here would blame their teammates. Oh, they're crazy. Like, look at these guys. They're so crazy for playing like that. Did we not see the Thresh 1 HP with no flash? Did we not just say that? So why are we not responding to this person? Who, like I kind of said in the last video, and to reiterate it, he's your real teammate, bro. That Thresh is in a Discord call with you saying, wow, I just used flash on 1 HP. You might want to dive me or the Twitch or the Twitch. Maybe both of us, right? And obviously, like, the enemy team is going to react to this by running down. So I guess, like, Tarzan has to stick to Dragon here. But, yeah. I actually think it's pretty suboptimal. After this, what do we do? Well, there's a chance, like, J4 is topside, right? So if we don't see J4 here, there is opportunity for Tarzan to run in, yeah? Because we know his Krugs are up. How do we know J4's Krugs are up? Because Yasuo is giving vision of the Krugs. So I think here, what Graves has to assume... Never mind, J4 died, bro. I thought they killed the Twitch or some shit, eh? Alright, never mind. It's good. Alright, J4 died, yeah? In another game, though, it's just important for me to bring this up. I like how this has gone from me, like, playing as Tarzan to kind of saying why a lot of the stuff is maybe a little bit interesting. But if the J4 is alive here, right? There he is. He's alive, okay? If the J4 is alive and he's not showing down here, that probably means, again, like I said before, you should be danger pinging top or in lane. Something like this. So if the J4 hasn't shown, he's probably going to do something in fog, right? In terms of your camps. So after this dragon here, if Graves has not seen J4, you run into bot side here. It's kind of similar to when Tarzaned at level 4 shoved the bot wave, which was bad. But after that, he made the right move of running to Raptors. He knows that his Krugs are gone. He knows that Raptors are probably going as well. Maybe anyway. So that's why he has to instantly react by doing J4's Raptors. You have to anticipate that your camps are going here if J4 is not dead. Whoops. My bad. I thought it was Twitch. But yeah, I was also kind of focused on Tarzan just doing Dragon. But yeah, okay. Impossible to do it now, right? Because Yasuo is leading them towards red buff. So if Yasuo just died like down here, probably the move I would make if he was dead. But in this game now, you can't do it, yeah? So what Tarzan is doing here is absolutely fine. No reason to recall after this as well. He can just run to his top camps. Let's see if he does it. Yeah, good. Agree with this. Right, let's actually play the game then for a little bit. So top lane is dead. That really sucks. And now at this point, you have to be asking yourself, right, do we even win a Grubs fight? So if I was playing as Tarzaned here, I'm probably just going to do like red. In fact, I would just start at Krugs. So I'd go Krugs, red, Raptors, and then you're looking for this. I don't think you can actually contest Grubs in this game just because the top laner, the Jace, probably won't even be active by the time they spawn. He might not even like have prio. It's hard to anticipate that shit. So I guess we can keep asking them after Krugs, or that question after Krugs and red buff. But I would actually just do Krugs here, back to red, and just come back down like this, because I would happily give up Grubs. And also, this guy being worth a bounty is huge. So if you can kill the Twitch under this tower down here, brilliant. We also just saw the Thresh in that fight use everything. So it's a very good opportunity for Tarzaned to do something over here. So let's see if he actually does it in this game. And also with a mid laner who's kind of getting curb stomped. Anything topside here just looks bad. So we'll see if he doesn't. Let's see if Yone decides to troll as well. So I don't think he should hit red buff here. He could even think of ganking top, but I don't even know if he kills him. That's the only thing here. So yeah, I think if I were Tarzaned here, I'd probably just do Krugs in the red buff. If you were playing another jungler, by the way, here, like Talon, something that can jump this wall, Shaco, Talon, anything like this, right? I think ganking top is actually good, or looking for it. So you'd go like this, yeah? And if he runs up to hit the tower, you just E over and kill him. Is Graves here even doing that? I'm not too sure. Maybe he does kill him. Yeah, maybe he does. It just depends, like, where he is, you know? Like, if he's recoiling that brush, it might take ages to kill him. If he runs out to the tower, I think the Graves can definitely do that. So, yeah, I think if I was Tarzaned here, I'd actually still run top and anticipate him to hit the tower and then maybe go for him. If he does this, I would probably just leave him. Depends how close you think you are. But I'd probably just leave him and then come back. But I think it's actually important here for him to do Krugs, red, Raptors, and then you'd go down like that. I think him doing red buff here, it's still okay. As long as he does Krugs and then Raptors afterwards, yeah. Just makes it nicer, you know, just going Krugs, red, Raptors, I think. But yeah, this is still good. And yeah, he's pinging here as if, like, he can contest this, but I just don't know if he can, you know? Like, Yone Ultimate, we have no idea of. Yone Flash, stuff like that. If I was playing the game and actually watching his screen, it's a lot easier for me to track that shit, because I would just be going through chat. But there's so many things in, like, a replay that my eyes, I've got to look over here instead of above here, I guess, for my teammates. And then pressing tab is different as well, right? So some of the stuff we might, yeah, miss, I guess. But yeah, there's no way I'm contesting Grubs here. So I think what he should do after Raptors is this. There's no general rule that you have to contest Grubs here. In a game like this, where your Jace, he's still doing okay, but he's not the Yone. Your Zoe is getting destroyed. And yeah, I just don't think there's any way in which they can contest Grubs. Also, as well, like when he moves down here, right? I haven't really seen the Twitch. So there's also a chance the Twitch here is active, right? And this Twitch is strong. So he has to be careful of Twitch here as well being active in these areas. So yeah, I just don't like him fighting around Grubs here. I just think it's a lot easier for him just to isolate this side of the map, whoever is there. If it's Aurora, if it's Twitch, it doesn't matter, right? You just isolate this person on this tower and go from there. In this game, unfortunately for Graves, the J4 has cleared his entire bot side, so there's no actual counterplay in terms of jungle camps, which would be nice. There's no dragon, so the only play he can make here is doing something to this tower, which I think is a 100% play. So after Raptors, I'll be moving bot. If anything happens here, I just don't care. I just think it's bad. And yeah, don't know what that J4 is doing, by the way. But yeah. Yasuo didn't ult, by the way. It's so random. And yeah, Twitch shows a bot. So thankfully, that works out, right? Like, thankfully, the J4 goes in and his whole team is here, right? But to be honest, for blue team, it's not even really that bad. They even killed the Jace as well, which is funny as. So yeah. You guys might think this is now good to play for this because, oh, we now get Grubs. Don't even know if they do, by the way. Like, if Twitch literally runs up, he might even get here in time after shoving that wave. But that would have been the play. You're killing a Twitch worth 250 gold, right? And even if you don't kill him, once again, the argument is, look, even if we don't kill you, Twitch, and you've got to stand back here, you're missing 2-3 minion waves. And Yasuo was just free hitting the tower, right? This is going to say like 75 CS to 35. That's the future, right? That's how that looks. So I think him actually playing for Grubs here is bad. Just after Raptors going like this definitely should have been the move, I think. And yeah, he can go from there. I think this is just really flip playing to this person. And yeah, I actually hope they kind of lose this fight just so it yeah, proves me correct. So if he, I really hope Twitch is running up, bro, which he is, right? Because he's not hitting bot tower here. So yeah, even if he gets 2 Grubs, doesn't mean anything. Oh, he either. Yeah, okay, I guess he has to. Yeah, how he plays it is probably as well as he could. And yeah, that J4 making interesting decisions. Because the Twitch is going to be here, no? Yeah, like Twitch is literally here, right? And he's close to 6. Oh my, bro, these players. So, yeah, all the J4 has to do here is just wait for the Twitch to go in, and instead he just ults the Graves when his team is nowhere near him, bro. J4, he can just wait, bro. Like, why would you go in? He can literally just wait here, eh? Also, like, Yone doesn't have ult, so very, very interesting play by this J4. He's also got no skin, so he might be filled, bro. He might be first time. Fascinating play. I really hate it when that happens, by the way, because it makes it look as if, like, the thing I suggested was actually bad now, and this was good, but yeah. Hopefully you guys can just see how it's flipped. Okay, though, we won. Right, that's good. Well, this should make it even easier now to carry the game. All right, double kill, we've won. J4 thankfully just ran it down. Could have just waited for Twitch, but hey, the flip worked. Recalling is obviously good. What's this Yone doing? Wave is pushing to him here, so the funny thing here, because Graves is never losing his bot side, right, he could think, if that guy decides to troll, right, the next wave. So this next wave is going to be in lane, right? So again, it's just about anticipating where these people are going to be, yeah? That's literally like just what I think jungling is. So you being able to anticipate that this guy might actually move up. So if Jace can threaten a freeze here, can we do this? The issue here, though, is that Thresh has been here, the enemy support. Is that warded? Will he see me? Is this warded? Will he see me? So it could be low percentage, but it's not even, I don't think, a bad idea just to give yourself this this option. Because if he does run up and troll, like, you might just be able to get a free kill, right? So yeah. Because you saw him use his ultimate on the Jace to kill him before the grubs fight happened. So again, I'm just like planting that seed of thought. I'm not even saying this is good, yeah? But yeah, after this happens, if Jace just chilled, maybe it's something he can do. But yeah, anyway. There's a Twitch. You just look at this and look at cooldown. So Twitch has no ultimate. Oh yeah, so I had to flash away. Sucks. Right, look at this game. It's the best game, eh? So someone has to go bot here, right? So if I was like Tarzaned here, I'd be thinking about trying to kill anyone who's down here. And when he sees Thresh there, it becomes very difficult, right? Kind of annoying that his Rakan had to base afterwards. Okay, so this shit's warded. Pretty annoying because now it's very, very difficult for him to do anything bot. Zoe pinging over here. You can always lean here and just try to do something maybe. But you have to be a little bit careful of like Thresh and shit being here. J4 has no ult, remember? So in terms of like strength there, the Graves is definitely stronger with Hubris. I don't want to talk about builds either, but Hubris looks fine. Yeah, so J4 being top and ganking that lane. Holy shit, this guy's a demon, bro. This J4. I don't even know if that kill... I mean, maybe it's actually good what he does, but anyway. Yeah, so Graves making this play is the only thing he can do. Zoe stopping her base is really, really good. AR. Oh, he doesn't have ult. That sucks. Oh, this should be good. Gotta be careful of Twitch, though. He actually smited. Mechanics are really good. Twitch has no ultimate, right? No ult on this guy. Should be a hard win, though, because Yasuo's here. Surely they fight. Surely they fight. Why did he click back? I can't believe he clicked back here. That's so random. Twitch has no stuff as well, by the way. So yeah, apparently the Twitch flashed, and we even saw him flash. So if he can get any sort of auto attack on Twitcher, I actually think it's good, because he should know J4 doesn't have R. So even here, if he flash autoed the Twitch, I guess he doesn't have E for J4. Yeah, it's a little bit risky. Let me just keep watching this. Yeah, I just can't believe he smarted the Thresh, and then he's like clicking back here. Like, there's no reason he should be clicking back, bro. He knows the Aurora's 1 HP. He literally saw it. He knows the Thresh is dead here. J4 no R. And he's a Hubris Graves with stacks. So I actually think mechanically here this is quite bad. He should just stay in here and hit the J4. J4 EQ's in. You send him a Christmas card. Give him some roast turkey. So yeah, I think mechanically here that was really interesting. And if he... Like, again, if he was closer here, he could flash auto attack this guy and he's dead. Especially now when he has E. Flash auto into another E. GG. Twitch is dead. And that could have been a really big play. Right. I'm going to kind of anticipate what the map's going to do here, but I think Graves' best play is to do exactly what he's doing here. The other option, right, is that someone is going to farm this, and you kind of... It just feels to me, anyway, that this is a play he could look for. So if he takes J4's Raptors, afterwards he's got two options. He could either do that to his top side, but I'm not even sure how much that means here. So J4 ran off, right? So J4 could be doing this right now, yeah? So if J4 doesn't show here, I would assume he's up here. Killing my Jace who's 0-5. It happens. It's whatever. So that's what I would anticipate here. So if Graves gets these Raptors without any contest from J4, after Raptors, I'm honestly going to think of just doing something like that to whoever shows bot, whether it's this person or this person. I just don't really care, yeah? So that's what I would be pinging my support to do here. Even though Yasuo is mid, he can shove this wave in the next and go from there, right? The Twitch has no ultimate, no flash, or his ult just came back up, but he has no flash. Yeah, so when he's doing this, right, this is when it becomes more difficult to do that because J4 could anticipate it after he gets pushed out here. So we'll see what happens here. See what Tarzaned does. Everything he does here is good. Ulting is good just so he gets away from Twitch ult. Oh, he actually flashed though. Okay. It's kind of unlucky. This definitely won't decide the game, but yeah. This J4, bro, is actual crazy, eh? Yeah, I think everything he does is good. Yeah, ulting is still fine. I just think the flash is... it's just Aurora hasn't shown for ages, right? Oh, it's really close. Yeah, I don't think it's the worst flash in the world, but he definitely should have done it earlier. Near this fight here, right? So I think this is still okay. He plays it as well as he can. I guess like the Q could have been against there, but yeah. I think the flash is maybe just questionable. But still, I don't think, again, this is going to decide the game, right? I think he's already made decisions here in this game that have kind of not lost the game, but yeah, have been suboptimal and put the game in this position. But anyway, let's continue with this. I don't really have drag timers, so let me just go back and look at this. So that's probably 6:40, right? 6:45, so that means 11:45, so he's got a minute on drag. So I guess it's just Krug's Raptors into drag here. Let's look at lanes. Yone's full HP. Ult, probably flash. Aurora full HP. Everything looks like an FF, right? And we don't know where J4 is going to go. J4 probably going topside, just because we killed him down here. So I'm guessing J4's topside will spawn sooner, and then he will go like this, and Graves, I think, will just do this. Yeah, so just Krugs into Raptors. I think top lane here, you just almost give up. Unless you think that Yone is going to dive. Okay, so he just warded right. That's all he did. Yeah, the Jace is 1 HP. Whenever you see this happening as well, it's probably, yep, a sign that's going to happen. So J4 just running through. And this is like this is one of the most important things when you jungle. Is, again, do you contest this, which is losing, and you're basically just being like a band-aid, right? A plaster. You're just like stopping the bleeding. And it's still bleeding at the end of the day. So what I would do if I were Tarzaned here is giving this shit up and going down here, pressuring this, drag as well afterwards. So it's kind of the same move as earlier with the grub situation. It's like that top lane is so cooked. So him leaving that, 100% the right play. I'd be doing the same thing. Lots of people might stand around here to get double killed. Sounds awful. Yes, you could stand in here and like get the J4 to like 1 HP, but there's so much potential for you down here, right? That just giving that up is good. Using W here, I think, is more than fine. I think he could probably do these in a better way, but it's still good. Yeah, does it well. And yeah, Graves ping on the way here. J4 gets the kill. So I think this is actually like both junglers playing well here. And Graves, instead of doing drag here, should be thinking about hitting Twitch on the next wave, right? So this should be the thought process here, not just hitting drag. I guess like Rakan doesn't have ult though. Oh, we know Twitch doesn't have flash, but Rakan not having ult is a bit of an issue. If this guy had ult, I think it's like a no-brainer just to go in. There's no exhaust or anything. Twitch is just going to get one shot. Yasuo still has ult too. Oh, it's so close, man. I didn't actually realize as well Thresh was 1 HP, by the way. So they should definitely stop this. Tarzaned should not hit this. I think it's just this. Oh, this is warded, sorry. So it would be kind of E over this wall, right? Maybe you might have to run all the way around. But again, it's just worth it, right? This is a bigger injection of golden experience than just hitting this thing for 25 gold. Yeah. So that's what I think they should do. This means it's warded, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just E over here and just ping for anything here. Like, Rakan, please hit them. See what I mean? Like, now it's just too late. So if he did it earlier, like, it would be happening on this wave, bro. So again, like, just hitting drag, I think is just a bit AFK. And given this guy, like, even just killing the Thresh is good. You know, like, I think they kill this guy without much trouble. And Rakan can W him, A out. Twitch is then on his own. We dive Twitch after, like, we still get the dragon, right? So I think Tarzaned is just, yeah, I don't actually agree with this, what he's doing, hitting drag. And now, he's going to have way more time, the Twitch, to react, right? Because he's already cleared the wave. What's the point in Twitch staying here? He's already cleared the wave, right? So after this, he's going to queue all the way back if he can, or he might try some tricky shit. So yeah, here we go. Oh, he actually got hit. See, like, this hit, Tarzaned is so lucky, bro. that actually worked. Like, honestly. Oh, dude, this game. Like, the Grubs fight was super fortunate. I think that is really lucky as well. Yeah. Unlucky. Oh, he's actually running off here. Isn't he just losing his top side, though? Like, wouldn't you just assume that? Let me just go back for a second. So he's doing drag, right? We clearly see this play happening. Yeah, I mean, I would just even hit the tower, even though he's 1 HP. And yeah, him ulting is obviously necessary. But surely, like, you would think that your top side is going here, no? So I think if I were him, I would actually think of just kind of running back in, even though it looks a bit crazy, but it's just anticipating that that's gone. If J4 was bot side here, right, we would have seen him here, yeah? Especially when someone ran through. I think it was Rakan who, like, ran through the Krugs brush. So because I'm anticipating J4 to do this, maybe even to dive the Jace again, to do this as well, right? There are kind of like gold hourglasses on the map for J4 here to get baited by. And yeah, if I were playing as Graves here, I'd run through. We know Rakan cleared that vision. So there's no way. Never mind, Rakan didn't. There's a new one here from Thresh. But that's what I would be thinking, right? Like, J4 is going to be up here. So even though it looks super risky for Graves to do that, that's just what I would be thinking. Maybe it's troll, but that's just like what my brain is anticipating here. So J4 being on walls, pretty interesting decision. He should be hitting Jace between towers. I don't know if Jace TP'd after his death, but yeah. All the way back here, right? Like, look at this. What is this J4 doing? Why are we not hitting the Jace when he runs back to lane? So yeah, I'm not expecting junglers here to play perfectly, but I cannot... I mean, now I really can't believe the J4 ran off. Like, look at this. Look at the Jays, bro. like they know they're losing. Okay, me laughing is a bit toxic. I'm sorry. But, like, they know they can't react to bot, or the J4 anyway should know that he can't do anything here, bro. Like, he should just kill the Jace running back to lane. And yeah, this happens, right? So we've already looked at this. Let's skip it a little bit. And yeah, this is what I mean, right? I am anticipating J4 to take my red buff. So instead of running back to Gromp, even though I'm on this HP, we know the Thresh is out of base. So ping on the way, get your Rakan here. If he does Krugs, he's back to like half HP, right? Broken game. Broken Fleet Footwork champion. I'm joking, it's not broken, but yeah. Like, you can just heal back to half HP here, and it's a Thresh with no Ignite or anything, yeah? So this... Ping on the way. Let's go, Rakan. Help me out. One auto attack on Krugs. We're back to this HP. Do them all. We're back to like this. Happy days, right? And then we can even hit the tower here. So I would just full give up red buff. And again, this injection of gold is bigger than Gromp. This injection of gold is bigger because we're taking J4's Krugs, and you might be able to get your own when they respawn. So we'd kind of be up like a Krugs camp. We do 2 Krugs and J4 does 0. Yeah? Doing Gromp, J4 has his own. So... I'm just gonna look at gold here. What is he building here, bro? I guess like Twitch and Aurora have stuff. Oh, whatever, I don't care about his buy. Yeah, did they see J4 here? I don't actually know. Again, this is the annoying thing with replays. I don't know if the red team has these actual timers here, because these are just generic timers they'll give you anyway. Like, if J4 didn't have vision of that, even if I press F1 for J4's literal vision, it would still tell me that this is like the gold hourglass, like back here. You say that? So I don't actually know if J4 sees that. Because it could be nothing, right? It could even just say that it's up. So it's a little bit annoying, the replay system, so sorry about that. I can't change it. Okay, after this, what do we play for here? We've got Rift Herald in 2 minutes. There's a fight mid, so I guess we have to go mid here. Of course we would just run mid. J4 might do something stupid again. And yeah, see, I think this is a mistake here. I think actually going for red buff is bad here, just because the Yasuo is in a position to do that. Okay, doing red buff is fine, but you have to realize that your Yasuo here wants to do that. So I think even here for the Graves, going back down here is 10 times better than playing for your red buff. And I'm not flaming anyone here, because NA junglers, like really high elo, are good junglers, yeah? Like, they get Challenger and Career and shit. But this here just looks like an NA play. Like, there's a red buff up, let me just run to it, rather than thinking, this tower is on 1 HP here. Why does this matter? Again, it's just like seeing the map in terms of, I don't want to say injections because it sounds like, yeah, I'm a druggie or some shit, but that's an injection of golden experience, but compared to that, it pales in comparison, right? So I think after Wolves, the Graves should do something like this again, and ping his Rakan to go there. I think red buff means absolutely nothing, and if I put it this way. If J4 was to get my red buff, I would be super happy because I can win the game. Okay, it's not going to win the game, right? It doesn't end the game, me doing that. But this is way more consequential, bro, than getting your red here. So after Wolves, I would just give up my red buff, pivot back down to bot, and look to dive anyone who's there, right? With Rakan, you're full HP on Graves. Can he even buy anything here? Yeah, I mean, look at his gold. Like, he literally cannot buy anything like that's that substantial. So after Wolves here, you come back down here and you dive whoever's bot. If J4 takes my red buff, who cares? It doesn't mean anything for the game. Have my red buff, bro. Let me kill your Twitch. Let me get first tower in this game. I still cannot believe that J4 doesn't kill the Jace on his way back here. But I think you can see like how both junglers are kind of similar here. Like, Tarzaned in his games looks... He kind of has the same scores as the enemy jungler, which is is when you know you're... How do I put this? Again, you guys are going to think I'm being toxic, but it is just true. You're kind of going even with people instead of diffing them. This is why he's not going to diff people. It's because he's not thinking about... I don't know how to phrase, like, what this is. But, yeah. Maybe the injections thing. How important is your red buff here? Is there something better? Of all the plays you could make here, how good is red buff? Maybe the second best play? Running bot with the Yasuo, Rakan ultimate, J4 even showing top side here. Now, of course, he might go back down to his bot side, right? But even just, again, pressuring the Twitch under his tower, maybe getting the Thresh when he rotates down, it means way more than your red here, yeah? And J4 has the same mindset with, oh, instead of hitting the Jace when he runs back to lane, I'm just going to run off and kind of play my own camps. Not even this red buff. I still can't believe, like, Graves' red buff is up here, right? So both junglers here, I think, like, you're seeing why they might not be, like, super high elo, yeah? That's just how I feel about it and how I, like, look at a game like this. Don't even know if this recall does anything. Like, I really don't. I guess, like, going top looks kind of doomed. Recalling here is probably fine if he's getting Hex Drinker, right? Yeah, I think recalling is actually fine here. I know I said it doesn't do anything, but Hex Drinker is probably worth it. Again, I just haven't seen, like, a Graves player build this shit in so long, so I'm guessing that's what he's doing here. Or Jack Shot. I don't even know what the items are, bro, like, with the changes to Graves. So, yeah, he is going Hex Drinker here. So, can you, like, see what I mean, though? How the red buff there, what did it actually do? I'm not anticipating Twitch to be here, by the way, in this position. Like, this looks easy for me to now say, oh, look where the Twitch is. But yeah, if the Graves was moving bot like this, and the Twitch showed on the tower, you either run through and kill him, or see if he pushes up like an idiot like this, and you kill him. And it means way more than red buff, right? Like, imagine if you kill Twitch here, you might be able to beat Yone to the first tower down here, right? And yeah, it just matters more for the game. Yone use ult or what? How he plays this is really smart, clearing the wave, excellent. Really, really good. What is J4's reaction going to be here? Diving bot. This guy's TPing, bro. Wait, what's going on? What's this Chase doing? It just said he was TPing here. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah. I think I paused it when he was actually, like, here. Transporting himself. Okay, so J4's reaction here, right, is going to be down here, yeah? So your goal as Graves now is to keep your bot lane safe, okay? You might be like, Eagz, we just killed the Yone. Shouldn't I hit this tower? Shouldn't I really invest as much time here as possible? Well, I think the Graves, what do you guys think? I think he can go Krugs, Raptors, and actually protect bot here. I don't think he has to completely give up this, because I think he can get here in time for J4. Not immediately, but during that time you're moving down, you're saying, you're just pinging. Guys, just be careful. Hit the J4, yeah? Press tab, ping the J4. He can be here. Please don't do anything stupid until then. So that's what I would do if I were Tarzaned here. He doesn't really have to worry about J4, right? So he can just do the Krugs normally, like ambushing him, that is. And yeah, I think this is, his reaction here is okay, but yeah, I would still be running bot. I think him running top is bad. I just don't like this. And again, if he was pinging this, maybe this is a different scenario where he's half HP. He's half HP. His bot lane as well, like, has resources here. Like, Yasuo, who is kind of the main person, I guess, having everything up is great here. It counters J4 kind of hard. Exhaust the J4, flashes ultimate, all of a sudden, like, you have chances to kill this guy. So I think Tarzaned actually running top here It looks good in terms of macro, but this reminds me of the Zac thing and just running to drag. Instead of thinking, hang on a second, this fight here, anticipating it, I think my bot lane does well. I think my, what's his name, Aatrox can do well here against Yone, and he was doing well. So here, after Raptors, we can move this down here, run there, get there in 10 seconds, actually be there for the fight. Even just cleaning up kills down there, I think is more important than running to where the Zoe is, because I also think it's very difficult to kill this person when he comes back, right? So I think this is a mistake from Tarzaned here. I think he should definitely run bot instead of ganking mid with his dogshit Jace. And I don't really think this kill means anything. I think running bot here was 10 times better. Hopefully he gets the kill, like I'm cheering him on. But yeah, okay, he does great. Same thing, run straight bot. Don't run top here. I don't know if he's tilted at his bot lane, but his bot lane is doing well in this game, like more than fine actually. And yeah, he's just running top because I, again, think he's just kind of thinking about J4's top. I'm just going to run over here, or bot, sorry. I'm just going to run other side of the map, no questions asked. Rather than, hang on a second, if he is bot, well, if he fights, can I get there? Do we win? Is this important? Yes, like, this is important, right? Your Yasuo is fed. Your bot lane is doing well in this game. And as well, when you get to, like, this elo, your bot lane is not going to be taking this on without believing that they can do well here, right? They're not that stupid. In before they both die. But you see what I mean? Like, this here is what he could be running to, and he's actually pinging here rather than pinging on the way. Why is that important? Because if they win, this on a Yasuo is more important than the Zoe who is 0-3 down 30 CS. Love watching Korean Yasuos, bro. Thankfully, Tarzaned played this perfectly. This is literally the most optimal way this could have gone. But you have no idea that Yasuo and Rakan are going to smurf, right? Because they have done. Also, don't know why they're not getting this top tower. Wait, why are they not getting top, bro? What is this game, man? What is going on? Why is the Zoe recalling and not getting top with jungle here? I guess they're scared of Yone getting back in time? But Yone, like, probably has no ult, right? Because he killed the Jace before. Yeah, that's surprising to me. Zoe as well with her passive. I'm pretty sure it works on towers, right? Can get that quick. So yeah, I mean, this should just be hitting tower. He should ping his Zoe not to recall here. Yeah, so I think like Tarzaned just kind of thinks about the map in terms of jungle. Again, like I said before, jungle 1v1 and that's it. Which is still good. Which is why like he's, you know, still great at the game. But to get to like that next level, I think this is the stuff he should add to it. Anticipating laners, and also just a bit of macro, I think, generally speaking. And yeah, I'm probably going to go through one more of his games just because this took quite long. Doing this is fine, right? Because J4 is dead, so I think he can do this. And the option after this is to... He needs to be a little bit careful with his E there, but yeah. In case he is scared of something happening. What's he going to do now? I mean, honestly, if I were him, like, a top tower is a little risky because he doesn't know fog, right? So if he runs through here and drops Rift Herald, if Aurora hits him with some bullshit or J4 EQs him, first thing I'd be thinking about, though, again, is just using Rift Herald straight away for an injection of golden experience. That injection of golden experience is more than crab. So again, it's that question of, can I actually do that before a little injection of golden experience? Here, though, not going for it, I think, is plausible because the danger of being in fog here is legit. Like Aurora being around here with J4, maybe even Thresh running out because I don't see him bot, right? There is reason to be scared here, yes, like this. So backing off is good. I'm not sure how much gold he has. Okay, so I think he has more here, right? So for me anyway, it just looks kind of easy to base here and then run out bot side. You'll also be on tempo with your laner who's kind of stomping this game, right? So I'm somewhat surprised, even though their Jace is 0-8, they don't win this game. The enemy team really doesn't look that good, even though their mid laner is behind. So they do have a couple of losing lanes, but the Graves here is so fed. The Yasuo is so fed as well. So I think here he should just recall. As soon as he can, run out bot side. And he does, yeah. And now the question is, where do you want to play, right? So as Graves, what is the easiest objective for you to get? Again, it's this. Why is it that? Because this bot tower is gone. Mid tower is harder to get, right? And top tower, just because it's kind of closer to your nexus than anything else, along with mid. But it's just easier to get right because it's more isolated. If you go mid lane, there could be 5 enemy champions there. Yeah? And top lane, it's easier to isolate people because you can dive them, right? You can cut them off and dive them. Mid lane, there's no room, bro, between these towers. You're going to be tanking 2 tower shots. Or 2 tower... I don't know how to say that. But yeah, there's 2 towers hitting you, bro. There we go. That was good. running out of base here. If the fight's happening, then yeah, the fight happens. Nothing you can do about it. It's solo queue. And as soon as this happens here, you're looking to, again, extract the most golden experience possible. So after this, you see 3 enemy champions mid. My brain immediately thinks about something like this just because of where Tarzaned is. If he was running top, you'd go like that, right? So that's what I'm thinking here. You can still go mid as well because you're 4v3ing. So I think mid is also an option. So I'd be going like this here after walls. And you either do this. Again, if no one gets that wave, you could even think of doing that, right? But that's just my first thought here. And let's see what the enemy champions tell me to do afterwards. So if he hits his blue buff, he's trolling. Yeah, I think this is just super troll. I don't even know if he finishes wolf cannon, but hitting this is just so AFK. He should just run bot, get the wave, and shove this, right? No one's getting the cannon here. So if Zoe was to run bot and get this, you would probably just do this, right? Or maybe Rift Herald mid here, yeah? But him hitting a blue buff is such a waste of time, bro. Such a waste of time. If he does Gromp as well, it's so AFK. Yeah, I mean, like, he could have just Rift Herald mid. They use the Rift Herald to get this shit. If their whole team is here, then at least Zoe can shove this, right? But if I were Tarzaned there, after walls, which you can kind of drive by, do not hit blue buff, run down here, shove the wave in, and then maybe you can run up here and get put Rift Herald down. Because someone has to respond, right? The Aurora is going to run bot and get this. And then you can go mid as she's farming this bot wave, and then you drop Rift Herald down here. So him just farming blue and Gromp is just way too slow. Like, why did we kill Twitch? If Twitch is alive here, you might react the same here, yeah? And they killed someone else, no? They killed Thresh? Didn't they kill someone else, or am I trolling? I think they just killed the Twitch, right? But yeah. So yeah, amazing. His team, like, kind of carries it, the situation here. Not carries him, but the team gets a free kill, and we're just hitting camps instead of winning the game, right? So again, maybe he's thinking J4 is alive. I need to diff this guy. Diffing J4 means farming these camps. Not really. You can always just do this, and then that with Rift Herald, and come back to your camps there. So yeah, he does it after farming his camps, which again, I'm not being toxic, but I think it's just like a useful label to put here, and this is no flame to NA players, but yeah, it's just a bit NA, that's all. Again, it's not me being toxic to NA players. They're really good NA junglers, but like I've played against some of the best NA players and beat them, even though I was on 200 ping. Weird flex. And they kind of jungle like this, where they just AFK. With numbers advantage and stuff like that, right? So, yeah. I think all of this should have been done already. They could be hitting this tower. They could be Rift Heralding. Like, imagine this, right? Rift Herald could be here and they get tower and the Yasuo gets the gold. Oh, my goodness. And then we filter up like this, maybe. Yeah, so doing this, I think, is good. I don't know why, like, none of them are mid, by the way. This is really weird. Like, the Yasuo is the most fed person on the map. And the Rakan is down near Zoe here, so the Rakan should definitely be mid, even looking to dive the Thresh, by the way. Jace dies top, doesn't mean anything. In fact, this guy dying top is great, because why? Because why? Good for me. Because J4 is top. J4 is not defending mid. J4 is not defending bot here. Doing this now as well is really difficult, right? So yeah, don't think they should fight here. I think they should be pinging off. Get the fuck out of here. Thankfully, Thresh just runs it down. But yeah, he's going to die, right? So this is a massive throw, by the way. None of this happens, right? Because this tower would be gone already. This is what I need to build, by the way. I need to build a League simulator. That tower is gone with Rift Herald, so Yone's not here getting caught. No one is here getting caught, or Yasuo, sorry. Everyone is in base here running out. With that tower gone, maybe that tower half HP. But because Tarzaned decided to hit camps that meant nothing, it slowed him down 20 seconds, and that allowed the Twitch to respawn, and look where he is now. Instead of doing this first, and then moving back to our camps, where we can never get caught like this. That's why camps come last, especially yours. And yeah, this would be like, this is probably game-changing. Not really game-changing, because I'm not sure how much it leads to, but I'm pretty sure they would lose mid-tower here. They might, I don't know, in another game, this could be 20 minutes, they lose Atakan, 25 minutes, they lose Baron. This is just going to be a theme. So yeah, I think that was a decent kind of like review of that game. I'll do one more, just because I really want to be thorough with this shit, because if Homie does actually end up watching it, I think this will really help him. I would like to look at a Kindred game, but just for the sake of the video, I'll watch one more Graze. Maybe this one is... this is against Clit as well, I think. So this one could be a good game to watch. We could watch this one. Could also watch this one, where he wins, but he goes 8-5. It's not really like the most amazing score. Looks like he gets kind of carried here. I mean, maybe he did something early game that snowballed his lanes. I'm not saying like he didn't carry, but yeah. Let's look at this one then. 1-4, we'll get into this. And I think the enemy jungler is cleared because I look at his deep lull. So where is my boy cleared, mate? Is he here? 1-4, yeah. So he was first included in this game and a couple other people, whatever that is, whoever that is, but yeah. Alright, so let's do the same thing here. So let's look at level 1 and what we should be thinking about. Okay, so in terms of jungle, right, Graves obviously wins early game. Top lane is kind of just like an AFK matchup, and I don't really want to split towards top. So if Graves does this, I don't really know if I like it. And if we think about Echo here, where is he going to start this game? There's a good chance he starts bot, because I think his Tryndamere with Ignite and Hob is a good lane to play for. I really hope Tryndamere is top, by the way, and not mid, and Yasuo top. But yeah, there is a chance like Echo does start bot, right? And does something like this. So it becomes like less kind of worth, I guess, to do this just because, again, the Echo is likely to path towards top. So if you invade here, it's just blue buff and Gromp, right? We're drawing that. We want the enemy jungler to be here, right? If we do this red buff invade. But I think there's a good chance Echo actually starts bot side. He wards here. And now all of a sudden, we're splitting the map for a Gragas. In the previous game, I think it was fine to do this because there's a good chance J4 starts on blue. Now, he didn't, I know, and I would have been wrong. But again, it's that anticipation, right? The J4 had a Yone top with TP, and it's different to that, right? So J4 might think, let me path away from the TP lane, mentally AFKs, and Graves screws him, right? Over. Ah, man, it's been a long day, eh? Okay. Let's go. This game as well, he could definitely think about going like Dark Harvest against their team. Like Yasuo, Echo, and Twitch, who you're killing for the most part. But yeah, it's not going to really change the outcome. Oh, man, I just knew there was going to be a level 1. So I see him pinging here. Did they even win? Tryndamere with Halo Blades? Yeah, I think this is just super troll, right? Like pinging for level 1, bro. Oh. Yeah, there's no way this is good, man. Surely. Like, Tryndamere with Halo Blades and Ignite. And then they... Like, Twitch as well, by the way, is really not that bad, level 1. Blitzcrank is obviously really good. Yasuo is decent. Echo is also kind of good. Like, if all of you line up, right, and he hits his Q, and he gets his passive, actually does, like, half your HP. Even if he starts E, it's not the worst thing in the world. But, yeah, it's probably Q here, because he has Dark Harvest. If he has Halo Blades, it's obviously E. Anyway, I just don't like him pinging this. Like, this is another game where they just don't win level 1, bro. And they should just, like, not do it. So, again, I just think he looks at Echo, right? And he just thinks, I'm stronger, let's do something. Trash. Actually good. Like, this is good. Pretty good as well. But that is legit. This is also probably better just because Blitzcrank hook and Yasuo is better than Orianna. So, even though this is not bad, in fact, that's good, everything is still pretty good, but this is bad. And then we look at, again, it's just like a comparative thing, right? You can't just say, I win 1v1 or like level 1 jungle, let's go. And this is what I have to do every game. If I play Shaco, I have to think about level 1s, right? If they run in here, so if I was playing Shaco in this game, there is no way I am pinging for assistance here. Because if Blitzcrank hooks one of us, we lose the fight. So there's no way I'm pinging. I'm pinging danger, I'm warding here, and running to my walls and starting down here. Tarzaned here can just stand here and watch the invade if he wants to, and go from there, right? And I would probably just path top to bot. I wouldn't do this. Why? Because there's a good chance Echo doesn't start there in this game. Yes? So yeah, bro, I don't even think I have to watch this. I've got my eyes closed, you know that. And anything that happens, like, look at this. Holy shit. Thankfully, it still works, but yeah. Well, not works, because Twitch gets, Oh, there's no First Blood gold anymore, eh? But yeah, anyway. Okay. He's actually starting Raptors as well. Why doesn't he not just start red? Is he scared of Echo invading him? I guess he is scared of Echo, right? Because he hasn't seen him. Yeah, for sure, okay. Yeah, smart to start Raptors. This is actually really good. Yeah, Echo literally hasn't shown A. Fascinating. I mean, I would check that brush before hitting anything, but yeah. And I think he should just stay here and do these. I don't know why he's running back like this. Like, he should just stand in between the small raptors, right, and do this. Yeah, it's good how he does it. Let's see what he does here. He could think of just running to Echo's bot side, by the way. Like, doing this. You know? The only issue there is, like, it might be warded. But, he's actually invading here, bro. Wow, I think Echo, like... maybe this is actually good. See, here, instead of, like, running at this guy, I just think... I think this is actually really smart from Tarzaned. He would beat me here in terms of, like, macro. Yeah, I think it's really smart, right? Because there's such a good chance, like, this shit isn't warded. So, I think I kind of like what he does. The only thing is, like, he doesn't have red buff, right? And Yasuo's going to TP back. So, yeah, I still think it's good because Echo should get kind of low. So, I'm actually a fan of this. Let's see what happens. Did they actually see this guy here? Oh, shit. Yeah, that's super unlucky. They would see the Greys, like, not doing red buff, right? Yeah, okay, so Echo is still level 1. Yeah, here, I mean, I think he should probably just, like, hit the blue buff, right? Wolves is fine because he doesn't have smite. If he had smite, he could hit blue and then just bait the Echo and kill him. He can just do blue. And yeah, after this, what I think he should do is probably something like that. Check his red, and then anything down here, right? Anything down there, because we don't care about Gragas. It's similar to, like, the other game. We don't care about top lane, so we want to get to bot side as soon as possible. So if he does Gromp, I think it's a big error. I still think he's going to be level 2, though, isn't he? Which is, like, really annoying, but he can just run through mid and get experience. Like, hitting Gromp, I just think is way too slow. Even recalling, I guess he has, like, longsword, but yeah. I would even, like, be tempted to check red buff, though. I guess he might think that it's gone. But yeah, I wouldn't. Like, Clid here does Krugs, and then he does the Graves' red buff, which is fascinating to me. So if I ran back here and saw this gone, I'm just going to immediately pivot like this, get some experience off mid, or try to. Maybe I do walls or something into this. Just anything, right, to pressure this Echo here. So I think the recall is, yeah, I'm not too sure about it, to be honest, but anyway. I still think him recalling is better than doing Gromp, though. So at least he didn't do Gromp. Don't know why he's not contesting this bot crab, because he's in a good position here with 2 long swords to fight the Echo. So, yeah. So, yeah, running out of base here. Doing walls is great. I completely agree with this. And he should know here the Echo's still going to be, like, farming camps. So I'm not sure why he doesn't check the crab. Again, this reminds me of the last game where he does, like, blue Gromp instead of just running to bot and clearing the wave and then Rift Heralding mid or something like that. Prioritizing this is way more important than his Gromp here or blue, so fascinating to see him not actually do the crab, and he has smite. He literally does it in like 2 seconds. And he can even consider, like, after this crab, of going like that. Yeah, I really don't like him kind of forcing this, because Blitzcrank still has flash, right? And now he just loses crab for no reason. There's no guarantee of killing Blitzcrank, basically, is what I'm saying. So, yeah, against a jungler like Clid as well, because that's who the enemy jungler is here, right? Like, legit high chow player. This is almost already, like, GG. If Clid is good here, he can cover bot, but these two might be healthy enough to survive that shit. And what he will do is just do this. So, yeah, Tarzan actually ganking bot here when Blitzcrank has flash is just a massive throw. I even just don't like him recalling after blue because he could have just gone to red buff. All right, he loses 10 seconds because Clid had done it. But when you realize that's gone, oh, shit. And let me kind of pivot back down here. Maybe you do blue into this, right? Just anything to pressure, again, this side of the map, yeah? Because you are a Graves against early game Echo. But his level 2 invader is brilliant. I think that was so smart. It's just really unlucky, like, the ward saw him there. And yeah, I guess he could have anticipated this shit being warded because the enemy team was here. So maybe that's why my instinct was kicking in, especially as a Shaco player. If the enemy team has been around here, I just always think there's wards. So if I queue in to kill someone, they're going to be aware. I never get my backstab in so I can FF and go next. So maybe that's why I was thinking just something like this, and then you go like that. Or even something like Raptors, red, pivot back down to his bot side. Anyway, moving on. Yep, so Clid does that. And he's not actually taking the Graves' Raptors here. Bro, what am I watching here? So what does he do? Wow, that's unreal. I can't believe that. What is he doing? Bro. Oh, Tarzan, please somehow find Canyon so we can actually simulate what should happen. This should be alarm bells ringing here. His raptors being up here is so surprising to me. So as soon as I see raptors up here, first of all, I might ping here. But I'd be like, hang on a second. If Echo was going to double crab me here like that and evade vision, he would be on my raptors, surely. The Echo knows I started raptors in this game. So if I start raptors, that's 4 minutes. So even if Echo doesn't have vision, 4 minutes, my raptors, they're up right now. But because Oriana wards it, which is great, really, really useful, right, to have that vision, so we know exactly what Echo's probably up to, I would just be thinking, why is that shit up? So I'd probably even think of, like, just pinging Gragas here. So Echo's done crab, now he's ganking here. Or he's done some weird shit down here, right, and he's still clearing his camps. And yeah, if you're Tarzan after this, you definitely check crab, because... Okay, thankfully Echo shows here, but because he hasn't actually done this raptor camp, again... Probably means that he's bot side, right? Or doing some weird shit. And I just wouldn't trust him having done that, so... Yep, I'm not sure why he doesn't do the top crab here. This is just, yeah, again, a little bit weird. Okay, now he does it. Yeah, a little bit slow. I don't know. Again, this could be on stream. I'm not sure about these games, but anyway, yeah. One more thing here as well, by the way, is like when we see this Echo, yeah? So when he shows here, and you press tab and shit, like he's got 16 CS, so we know in this game when he's got red buff, that he's done like these 2 camps. Maybe even Tarzan here is thinking his red buff is up, right? And this is Echo's. But if we click on him, we can tell that that's not his. So if we look at this again, and really jungle track him, we know. So yeah. So yeah, he sees red buff here, and then he's like, oh shit. But he shouldn't even check red. Like, this is the thing. This is just kind of NA jungling. No flame, I'm just using that as a term because I think people will just get it. I could use EUS as a term or Korea as a term, but yeah. This here is just like a little bit NA. Even if red buff was there, you still do that. He even took raptors, right? Or wolves, sorry. So you could even think about going to wolves before crab. The Echo here as well, you should know. I mean, Echo can recall for sure, but because he's already spent gold, how much more gold does he have here? Probably 300-400? Never mind, he's got 800 because he got another kill maybe. I just wouldn't expect him to recall here because I don't know how much he's going to buy. So if I was playing as Graves here, I'm probably already running through and looking to influence these rather than just hitting red buff, you know? How does Echo have 2 kills? Did he just get a kill there? Was that him? Yeah, okay. So that kill puts him at like 800, right? He would have had 400 or 500 before then, so I was kind of right. So yeah. After that kill, it's like, oh, he could recall now. Kind of annoying because he'd have alternator. He runs top side to protect his camps. Like, that's what I think he should do. Like the Echo recall here and just run top. See what he actually does. Yeah, fascinating. So he just... I think this is a mistake. I think he should recall, run here with Blitz. Like alternator Echo. Yeah. Ganking this lane is kind of interesting just because you don't have your mid laner here. And Yasuo has flash still. So I think this is a big waste of time. I think if he's going to do anything here, he should probably just farm Krugs into a base. I think ganking mid is kind of interesting. Especially when enemy, what is it, jungle support can be here in like maybe 10 seconds. So yeah. Yasuo doesn't want to win all that. Now he does. Yeah, but he just flashes, right? He never dies. Yeah, this is just going to be GG. Yeah. Nothing he can do here, right? Like, literally nothing. I also don't like how he W's camps. I think it's really bad. Not really sure what to say. There's nothing he can really do. Now he's pinging the Oriana. I'm honestly not even sure what he should do, but after this, the gank mid is just atrocious. Like, the gank mid just puts him in such a bad position here that I think this almost like has to happen. Yeah, his W is really bad. Just never do that. He can E over into the brush, but yeah, even that's like kind of risky. I think this is all good. Saving his Q, I think, is really smart. Using his Q there is bad. Because there's a great chance, right? Like, this fight continues and escalates into something. So him, like, chasing the Blitzcrank, it's fine. But I think him queuing is bad. Because he could hold it for maybe someone better. And he's probably only going to get 1 Q here in this fight. So, yeah. And yeah, using his E like that as well. Probably just shouldn't E. It's really awkward to play this, but yeah, the mistake has already happened, right? Like, this domino has to fall in a way. So there's nothing he can do about this. This just happens. Lots of people might look at this. Oh, you could have done this and mechanic. Nah, bro. Like, this has to happen. Why is he ganking mid there? Super troll. And yeah, this game's basically over, right? Not basically over, but yeah. Grubs are in a minute time, so... And yeah, Twitch is also 5-1 in this game. Yeah, now he's just pinging everyone. But yeah, hopefully this was useful, guys. Thank you for watching the video. It's probably going to go on YouTube. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it and learned something. Any questions about the gameplay decisions and my commentary, leave them in the comments section. Apart from that, oh yeah. Also, if you want one-on-one coaching, you'll climb tiers, bro. Like, just trust me. Actually learn what jungling is. Yeah, hit me up. Discord, website, Eagz, GG. And yeah, have a good day. Don't be shy.